Hello, Mr. Ed here. Today is December the 11th, 2021. It's about 8:30 in the morning, and golly, it's 74, 75 degrees. Man, it is really humid, warm, and it's December, so go figure. You know, but in Louisiana, that's typical. Now you might be wondering, Mr. Ed, what's all that stuff back there? That building, all that nice grounds right here. So since August of this year, I've been living here. This is where I live, at the monastery. I've been living with the monks while the house was getting built, and since I didn't have any place to stay, so they said, yeah, Jeff, we'll feel sorry for you, and we'll go ahead and let you stay with us while you get your house built. But this morning, what I'm doing up early this morning is that Charlie and I, we're finally getting around to processing the honey that we had brought in. Gee whiz, it's been almost 3 weeks now. It's been sitting in the honey house, and that's where I'm headed right now, over to the honey house. And Charlie and I are gonna go ahead and start processing. Not start, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do all of it. We've only got, I don't know, maybe 25 boxes of honey to do, and we're not going to be running through all the machines. We're just going to be doing it old school way, you know, using our hands, scraping the cappings off of the wax, and then running it through our extractor. So I know, I told Charlie, I said, Charlie, about 8 o'clock, Charlie always likes to get here early. So I'm sure by now he's already sitting over at the honey house waiting for me. And but I had to go eat my breakfast anyway. So by the grace of God, Charlie and I will get our honey processed, and I'll show you what we'll be doing as we go along. So let's head over to the honey house and wrangle up some honey. As I said, Charlie will be waiting over there for me, and sure enough, there he is. Look at that, huh? The man likes to get up early and get where he's going early. So let's go over there and find out what Charlie got to say and see if he's wide awake enough to process all this honey. So you know what we're going to be doing today?
We're going to be processing a few boxes of honey.
Yeah, that's right. So do you bring your working hands today? Because you got to work today.
We're not going to be able to use the equipment. We don't have enough stuff. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way.
That's right.
We're going to do it with our serrated knife.
Yeah.
And got my little scraper.
Oh, nice.
So
that's one of those $high scrapers, huh?
It's a $high scraper, and believe me, it works nice.
Very good.
Very good.
All right, let's get inside and start doing our job, huh? Now, these are the boxes. These are all the boxes that we've brought in. I think we did. I thought we brought these things in around November the 20th, something like that. Look at this right here, goldenrod, right there. And this stack of boxes right here, I've already gone through all this stuff. These boxes right here, these simply are boxes that didn't have honey in them. Or this one obviously was robbed out, this one. And so we're going to just be taking all of these boxes, we're going to roll them outside, and they're eventually going to go in the peacock pen, and some of them, like you see, don't even have the wax wasn't even drawn out on them. And for whatever reason, all of these boxes, there's not enough honey in them for us to worry. Now, if there was a little bit of honey in them, I'm gonna let the bees rob them out. But these 4 stacks, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one down there. So it's 5, 10, 15, 22 boxes that we've got. And they're not all completely full of honey. At different stages of it. So, but you know, it's still nice Nice honey right there. And we'll be able to pull out, if we got 22 boxes, I'm guessing that we're gonna get somewhere about 40 gallons of honey from all these guys. Nah, not even 40. I'm saying it's somewhere between 30 and 40. That's what I'm guessing. What do you think, Charlie?
It's going to take us 2 hours.
All right, we're gonna start moving boxes and getting this stuff going. Charlie and I aren't going to be using all of the equipment. We're just going to be using the extractor. We're going to be uncapping these things by hand. But to get the extractor going, we have to first hook up the pump to it. And this pump, it's an auger type pump. And all it is a big auger in a tube. And that tube is then placed on the motor. And as the motor turns, it rotates that auger, and that auger just pushes out the honey. So I'm going to go ahead and hook all this stuff up, and then we're going to actually put it on side of the extractor itself. And now our hose is hooked up to our pipe that goes into our drum. We'll be filling our honey, putting our honey in, and Charlie is over there setting up right over here to do the uncapping. So what we got going, Charlie?
Well, we're going to uncap these by hand. We're not going to use the uncapping machine because we don't have enough to dirty the machine.
Right, it just doesn't justify running all that honey through there and losing the honey on that. Even though it's a lot faster, it's just for our purpose today, we'll do the
And some of these you'll notice they're really not drawn out far enough that if you use a serrated knife, it's not going to catch the caps. On now this side, it could almost catch, but you can see how they're drawn out almost level with the bars. So it would make it a little difficult. So I've got this uncapping tool right here that I've used, and it works pretty good. See how it just knocks the caps off like that. And this wax is relatively dense. It's late in the season, so and basically that's how it's done.
So how many of these things we got to do?
We have a lot. We've got about 20 boxes.
All right, so we're going to get busy at it.
So, yep.
Charlie and I are going through these boxes, and I came across a really good example of the different types of nectar that the bees are drawn from. We left our boxes on, any box that had a third super on them in the springtime when we pulled our honeys, but the honey wasn't ready for us to get. We left those boxes out there. And so what happens is that you'll have a mix of honey. You'll have that spring honey in it, and then the fall honey, which is for us is goldenrod. And this frame is a really good example of the difference between the two. And you can see in this area right here, this is the spring honey. It's white, it's really nice. And then in this area right here, this yellow, this is the fall, this is the goldenrod. And so for me, I really like the blend when you get the fall and the spring together. And that's really what all of this batch of our honey that we're doing right now, it's going to be a blend of of the goldenrod and the tallow and privet. So I mean, it's just a really nice combination, at least I think so. And this is a great example of the way it looks on your frame. Charlie and I just finished doing the first 48 frames and loading up the extractor. It's painfully slow. We're so used to running it through that Dakota Gunness and just in 2 seconds having 2 frames done. But we just don't have enough frames to justify using the uncapper. Let me show you what we got in the uncapping tank and how I've got the extractor. I'll load it and then Charlie's going to get all this thing going. And there are the uncappings that Charlie took off using his cool little tool. And there's the uncappings that I took off using my cool little tool. And here's our extractor, all loaded up. 48 frames. And Charlie's getting ready to turn it on. Here's our first run. all spun out, and we still got a bunch of honey in the tube, but in the drum, we probably got a quarter of a drum. Normally, when we run one full run on that extractor, when the frames are really good looking, full out, we'll get half a drum, about 20 to 25 gallons of honey on that on per run. So we probably got about half of that. There might be 10 gallons in there. I don't think there's 10, but somewhere between 8 and 10 gallons. And it's a little bit darker, but then again, this is our we've got a lot of goldenrod in this honey as well. So it's a goldenrod privet mix. So Charlie and I are going to go ahead and unload all this stuff right here, put it in their boxes, and start on our next batch. I think all we got left is those 4 boxes, 7 more boxes, what we got left to do. And this is the honey that we've gotten out of there already. And Charlie was noting, you know, like we got a hive beetle, another hive beetle. There's little varmints in there, but all that stuff will rise up to the top, and I'll get it out of there, and it won't be any problem. I'm telling you, this is some excellent, excellent tasting honey, and we're gonna have better than 40 gallons, because right now we're about better than halfway full with that. A little bit better than halfway. And I'm guessing at the end of it, we should get to about that line right there. So it's just gonna be over 40 gallons. So let's go ahead and we're gonna crank up again on taking all that cappings. Let me show you the cappings so far. This is what we've got out of there so far. Get those boxes done, and we'll get this thing wrapped up. Yes. How long has it been, Charlie?
And 2 hours.
No, it's been more than 2 hours. Look, we even have some bees flying around in here as well. It can't be helped. One more thing before we get started. I want to show you this. You see the color of that capping? So this is our goldenrod cappings right here. These are what Charlie has been using his equipment for, and getting all those things off. And
some up here.
Yeah, there's, again, you can see how it's mixed in the goldenrod right here, along with the privet and tallow right there. We got everything just about wrapped up here, and now I want to be able to get some of this honey out of this wax. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this little screen over the gate. You know, Charlie came with the idea, let's tilt it back and you can put it on there. Guy is a genius. So we're going to put that on there, and then we're going to put it down. And now we're going to lift the legs up from the other side. And we have these really nifty little bricks that we keep in the honey house for these special occasions. And we'll set it up on the bricks. And now our honey ought to be coming down to this end, along with all our wax too. But within a day, look at that, it's moving a little bit faster than Charlie moves.
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there. So we're going to go ahead and
Need a bucket.
we're going to go ahead and finish up pulling all this honey out. We got to drain all that honey out of the hose right there and into the. We got to get all these boxes outside that garage door right there, which is no problem. But what is the problem is that, well, let me show you what the problem is. We have to get the boxes out of here before we get too many more of these bees in our honey house. So we're going to open up the door real quick, and we're going to push everything out. finishing up. We got our honey draining up from our uncapping tank. That'll work just fine. We already got the extractors all cleaned up. Just a matter of hosing it out, using hot water on this. All that water just runs out into the yard, the honey water, and goes on the ground. The bees eat it right out there. And of course, look at this. Here's our take. Not bad at all. That is really very nice. Let's see, we clear off. We're gonna probably have about an inch or so of honey down in there. Of wax. So you move the wax. And there's the honey. All right, let's taste it. Oh man. All right, so Charlie, how much honey we got?
2 hours.
Yeah, and how much honey's in that drum?
We've got a good 50 gallons in that drum.
Yeah, I'd say 50. 50 is a good guess. We got some hive beetles crawling around, but they'll meet their demise soon enough. All right, let's get outside and wrap this thing up, Charlie.
All right. Hey, Ralph, thanks for watching. Keep on watching. We'll be making more.
Not yet, Ralph. It's not time yet. Okay, it's time now. All right, Charlie, what do we do today?
Well, today we took honey off of 20 boxes.
20 boxes.
We had 20 boxes. We ended up with 50 gallons of honey. We had to do it by hand, uncapping, which was,
nasty.
That was tiring.
Yeah,
and it took a long time.
And Charlie didn't get to take a nap, and he's been complaining.
Didn't take a nap or anything
He's
like
telling
that.
how his hands hurt, and he called up his wife, Patty. Oh, Patty just treated me so bad.
That's okay. I'll be taken care of tonight. But no, we did a good job. I mean, I was surprised that we had this much honey this late in the season. So we did good today. This was good.
I think we did good. So I don't have anything to say.
Well, if he doesn't have anything to say, thanks for watching.
Keep on watching.
We'll be making more.
God bless, Mr. Ed.
And good time, Charlie.
We're out until the next video.
Next time.
Check this out. Check this out. This is like dirt rooster equipment. It's so rotten. Look how the bottom board is collapsed. The box that's sitting on top of it is collapsed, and the whole hive is leaning back like this. Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. This definitely is going to get changed up when we do our rotations in a few more weeks. We'll get rid of all this stuff. That's bad.
Oh, Dirt Rooster would never get rid of that. He could use that. You could give that to him.
That would be like some of his really good equipment right there.
That's right. Randy would take that.